Eightfold Path in Buddhism is basically a set of guiding principles for how to live your life. Unlike the Ten Commandments in Christianity, being like a set of strict rules that you must adhere to, and if not, you're a sinner, then uh, the the eighth the Jesus the principles of the Eightfold Path, they're just like general ideas to try to follow. And within Buddhism, it assumes that you are a being with the capability of intelligence and proper decision making skills. So while these eight concepts are there to guide your life, they're essentially for you to dictate how to use them. And nobody but yourself can know if you are following these principles properly, because it's all about how much you are suffering within your life. If you feel like you're following the Eightfold Path, but you're still like constantly suffering and you don't see your life getting any better, then you're probably not actually doing it the right way. Now that I've talked about that, I will go into what the eight concepts of the Eightfold Path are, and they are the principle of right understanding, of right intent, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The word right is used in there constantly, and in this dualistic world that we live in, right is good, wrong is bad, but it doesn't mean it in that way. It means right as in like you're attempting to do what is appropriate for the situation, not like a set of this is right and this is wrong. It's not about strict moral guidelines or strict. It's not about strict guidelines to follow. It's about gaining understanding of your situation and acting appropriately to minimize suffering more for others than for yourself. Because the while Buddhism is about ending suffering, it's not about being selfish. The whole thing is about working for the betterment of everybody by bettering yourself. Um, and this begins with an understanding of what these principles of the Eightfold Path are. And by that I mean, so like right understanding is essentially for you to be able to understand that perhaps what you think you know of the world isn't correct. You have to be willing to be wrong, to understand, to see that your ideas, or ideas that have been fed to you, I should say, could be incorrect. And through this, we gain right understanding. The second principle of right intent, this is about the intention behind your actions. And when I say actions, and one of the paths, one of the principles of the path is right action. But these all weave together. It's not like step one, step two, step three. Like you work on all of them together at the same time. And over time, you will cease to suffer. Or it could actually happen instantaneously, as it did for me after a DMT trip that I had. And I don't mean to say that I don't suffer anymore. I mean that I had this trip, and when I came back, I had literally become such a different person that I immediately began living my life by the precepts or the concepts of this Eightfold Path without even knowing it. It wasn't until later that I began my study of Buddhism that I realized that in that trip I had been given the experience of being Buddha and a complete understanding of how to follow the path, even if I didn't know what the path was at the time. Okay. So after we have right intent, which is paired with right understanding for the path of wisdom within the Eightfold Path. The next section of the Eightfold Path is that of Jesus. So while understanding and intent are part of the wisdom portion of the Eightfold Path, the next three are part of conduct. So with that we have right. With that we have right speech, and by right speech, I mean speaking to people in a way that is truthful and meaningful. So giving people empty compliments, this would not be right speech. Like if you're sucking up to your boss or something, and like, oh, you look so nice today. Your hair is just gorgeous, even though you think they look like a sloppy mess. That is not right speech. Society today tells us that that's okay to say because we're supposed to try to get ourselves ahead by sucking up to our boss or doing whatever we need to do. But this is not true. This is one of those things that ultimately leads to suffering in your life. Another aspect of right speech is to not lie. And this doesn't mean that you can never tell any lies. It just means to be truthful with people if you want to be able to develop meaningful relationships with them. Like if you get pulled over, you're speeding or something, if you want to lie to that cop, lie your ass off to that cop. It may end up getting you a ticket. It may causing you more suffering. But that's up to you. Just generally, you want to speak in a way that you don't say you're going to do things that you don't intend to do, that you don't tell people things that aren't truthful, and that you don't say things that are going to be hurtful to them or anyone else, or about anyone else, like gossip. Gossip is the exact opposite of right speech. And it doesn't even matter if it's true, but if you're going to run your mouth about somebody to another person, that's something that will inevitably come back to you and cause suffering. Within this portion of conduct is right action as well, and this is very similar to speech. It basically means follow the golden rule, and I don't think people actually understand what follow the golden rule is, because it's treat others how you want to be treated, but that doesn't include anything about how to do that. And the way that you do that is you think about what you're doing, and you look forward to see, is this action that I'm taking going to harm anybody? Am I going to do something that is selfish? Like, am I trying to gain something for myself? Or am I trying to put somebody else down? If the answer to that is yes, then clearly you're not taking a right action. And this is very counterintuitive, because with the way our world works today, in corporate America and capitalism, we're supposed to step on people to work our way up. You look at somebody like Donald Trump, who is a terrible demagogue, and he's done nothing but be mean to people and fuck them over and steal from them and sue them until they're broke and just essentially destroy their lives to get all the way up to the top. There are a lot of people who respect this, and this is why he became president, because people see that and like, oh, he's a powerful man. He's the epitome of what like a capitalistic person should become. And this is true. There are people that are going to argue about that and like, no, this isn't what society is about. That's not what it's building. But if you look at how capitalism is founded, it's founded on all of the wrong actions. So if you're living that sort of life, you know your actions aren't right. And I'm digressing. I need to move on. So still within this portion of conduct, we have right livelihood. And this goes right back into the action in the corporate world and capitalism. What are you doing with your life? Like, how are you making your living? If you're doing something that causes harm to others, then you're probably not you're following right livelihood. Or if you're in a job that is just constantly stressing you out and you don't enjoy what you're doing, you don't feel like you're doing anything for society, or you're coming home and you're aggravated and your girlfriend or husband can't stand to be around you because of your mood, or you neglect your children because you just want to sit around and do nothing because you're tired from your job, while you may be supporting your family and this is a good thing, you're still not following the path of right livelihood because of all of the negative consequences that are coming into your life through this. And then for the third portion of the Eightfold Path is a portion of mental discipline. And I misspoke earlier. The second one isn't just conduct, it's ethical conduct. So within mental discipline, first we have right effort. And right effort is doing what you need to do to get the job done. And again, because all of these all these concepts mix in and play with each other, you can't just be like, okay, I'm getting the job done the best way that I can, or the only way that I can, and it doesn't matter what happens. This is right effort because the job is getting done appropriately. The method that you use to get the job done is also important. And if anything that you're doing within that process is going to be violating any of these other portions of the Eightfold Path, then again, you are not following the path in this particular moment. So with right effort, it really just means, are you doing what you need to do? And this can be anything from building a house to playing guitar. Like say you want to be an amazing guitar player and you want to get up there and shred. Well, if you buy a guitar and you pick it up and play it for 30 minutes one day, and then an hour a week later, and then 30 minutes a week later, and you just keep on a slow pace like that, you're never going to become a shredder. You're not going to be crushing that guitar. You're just going to be some dude that sits around on his ass daydreaming about standing in front of crowds and having women throw bras up at him or some shit. You have to practice. You have to take that guitar out every day, or whatever your schedule allows, and spend that time to become a great guitarist. It's like meditation. You can't just meditate once and have an amazing experience and be like, oh, I've done it, I got it, I know how to meditate, I'm good. You have to keep doing it over and over. You gotta start doing things when you suck at them. And you don't quit because you suck. You keep working until you're okay. And then once you're okay, you keep working until you're good. And then great, and then amazing. This is right effort. We also have right mindfulness within mental discipline. Right mindfulness essentially just means being aware at all times, and not of everything. Not like you see in like a James Bond movie or any spy movie where somebody's talking about like how he can be looking this way and he knows how many buttons are on a dude's coat over there and what kind of glasses he's wearing and whatever. It's completely irrelevant. It's about being aware of how you're feeling, how others are feeling, the situation that you're in, like how things are moving, just generally feeling what's around, but specifically with you. Actually, this is an example from a book that I read. Great book that I'll discuss later. But he talks about, but the author talks about being aware of a toothache. So you're not aware of your tooth when it doesn't hurt, but as soon as it does hurt, you're nothing but aware of it. You probably can't think about anything but that tooth. And if you've had tooth pain, you understand what I'm saying because it can be excruciating. But with right mindfulness, what you're doing is you're not just thinking about that tooth when it hurts. You're able to think about that tooth when it doesn't hurt, so that state of no pain isn't just neutral, it's good, like it's pleasant. You feel happy in that moment because you are lacking that suffering. And then when you do suffer, you're not so upset about it, you're just not happy anymore. Now you're neutral. And the final aspect of the Eightfold Path, and the last of the mental discipline portion, is that of right concentration. And this one's probably the most simple of them all, and it essentially means meditation. It means meditate. And as you can see right now, I'm kind of sitting in a meditative position. In fact, if I wanted to meditate right now, I could absolutely do it just fine. But this position that we see so commonly with meditating, with gurus or whatever, leading people, this isn't the only way of meditating. We can meditate on our daily lives. We can meditate washing dishes. If you're a painter, you meditate while you're painting. It's just about single-minded concentrationness on one thing. And that one thing can be anything. That one thing can be nothing. Concentrate on nothing. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's actually a very successful method of meditation. One of my favorites.